250 here at Daytona Speedway. We have Blessed Hands in today's lineup. We have Blessed Hands. He's out front. He's on the pole in the 25 truck. Second place truck is the 2 truck of
Novocaine.
Let's see, Novocaine. Let's see how I can go through the drivers here. We have somebody coming up on the outside, on the inside, making a pass there.
I'll tell you what, while we're looking at that,
better view of
let's let LaFarve talk a little bit about the race. LaFarve, go ahead and tell us a little bit about this Busch Clash.
Yeah, guys, this is a race based off the 2018 Truck Series pole winners only. So every guy that ever got a pole, any one of the races starting, is now in this race. Thankfully, we got most of them back. There was no qualifying for this. It was whoever had the most poles, and that was Blessed Hands. That was previously said with 10 poles for
DP,
the year.
what we got there?
Yeah.
Well, we almost had a caution here. I don't see the caution flag out. Looks like the 25 truck ran off the track down into the infield, but it looks like he recovered just fine.
Oh, wow. LaFarve, what did you see on the track? That was crazy racing right there at Daytona.
Yeah, that was pretty intense there. It looks like everyone's just trying to feel each other out for space-wise. The toughest part about drafting here at Daytona, I'm sure a lot of you guys already know, is just how much do you push the issue in the corners. The trucks especially suck up to each other so close that, and the bumpers are so close together that you almost find yourself almost having a beach ball effect. And then someone will lose control, either the guy behind you or you in front. I think that's kind of what we saw there, and I think what we're seeing right now as we're watching this is them trying to figure out and negotiate that space and see who they want to work with. Blessed is obviously in the rear of the pack here. He's trying to work his way up to the front. Looks like he's trying to feel out Evo up top there in the 4 and see where he wants to go with it.
Now, speaking about Blessed, I was able to get a hold of Blessed before the race. He had a couple things he had to say about the race. Let's see what he had to say.
How you doing, 17? I've been listening to Novocaine talk here lately, and I would just like to say that there's no way he'll win the championship in any series this year, because my plan is taking all 3.
Oh, wow. That's some very big statement words from Blessed there. What do you think there?
Right there. That shot's fired, man. I like the confidence. That's exactly what we bring here in ECR. Everyone kind of brings the heat. And, man, if there's anybody that can, have his shoulders to push
DP, what we got there, DP?
Caution. We got a caution coming out, guys. Caution on the racetrack.
Tell us about it, DP. What we got there?
Looks like Texas was saying, looks like 19 got involved. I actually missed that the way my camera's set up, but if anybody else has got that, they can help me out there.
What you got there,
I don't
Texas?
see a caution flag.
It looked like to me that the 19 truck got into the 2 truck and washed him up the racetrack and turned him sideways into the outside wall. Caused a big crash. A lot of guys involved in that. Especially bad luck. I'm sure there's some significant damage to that 25 truck of Blessed. We're going to have to see how this unfolds.
I don't know, Texas.
It looks like he's just got a little bit of hood damage.
Yeah, what do you got there?
That's what I'm seeing right now.
Is that what you're seeing right now? I'm going to have to change drivers and go.
I don't think there's a caution either.
There's no caution,
They're still
but
running.
54
There
is
is
going.
no caution, is there?
54 is going into the pits, and he's got a whole bunch of front end damage. So let's see how that's going to turn out for 54.
Guys, I think the biggest thing right now is to watch for too, especially is since there was no caution right now, maybe the 54 is trying to do some fuel strategy right now. You will have to make, some pit strategies in this, depending on when you go. So now I think what we're going to see is a couple packs lining up and see who wants to work with each other. It looks like I'm watching Johnny push Bucks a little bit with Billy Jack behind him as K. Sullivan just exits pit road.
Now, speaking of Johnny, I was also able to put a microphone in Johnny's face before the race. Let's see what he had to say.
Hey, 17, thank you for the interview. Appreciate it. The 98,
running decent this year. Had a lot of bad luck in the accidents in that department. Got a decent setup for Daytona. Hoping top 3, top 5, and if I could pull this off with the stages, maybe I could even get a win if I can get a partner out there. Appreciate the interview, and hopefully I'll be talking to you in the winner's circle. Thanks.
You heard him, LaFarve. Now, LaFarve, correct me if I'm wrong, but Johnny's the only Ford out there, right?
Johnny is the only Ford, yes. We've got quite a few Toyotas. Blessed Hands just switched from a Toyota to a Chevy, however. And yeah, really, the Ford is outnumbered here, to say the least.
Wow. What do you see on your screen
And I
there?
tell you what, South.
Go ahead.
What I'm seeing right now is just a bunch of guys trying to get basically packed up back to each other. You can tell right now that obviously everyone's going, man, this, kind of a tough spot to be in. You didn't want it to start off like this, obviously, kick off the 2019 season.
Oh, we got another hit there.
Ooh, 25.
Got a guy on the wall.
What's that, 25 in the wall?
25 in the wall again. And I'll tell you what, the 38's got a lot of damage, heavy damage on the front and nose of that truck. And he's still out front. But we got somebody on the outside, guys. Just the 98 truck takes the lead. Johnny taking over.
Yeah, it's tough to tell who's in the lead right now. I think actually Nova might be in the lead battling with
Nova
Reese right now.
Okay.
It's tough to tell though right now.
It is. It's very tough to tell because okay, yeah, the 2 is out front. You're right. Let me correct that. We got the 2 in the 19.
And we got a lot of racing left too.
Right now is Sullivan for sure.
Sullivan.
I heard before the race
like
a lot of crew chiefs saying, bring me back a trophy or bring me back that steering wheel. How do you feel about that, LaFarve? How do you set up for a race where there is no major points on line? It's just guts and glory. Just go for it. I mean, you've been in that position before, LaFarve. Tell me about it.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to be in for these guys. I mean, you're trying to figure out when to push the limit, especially now with this caution. Now you're rambling through your strategies, you're checking out your pit options and seeing how many laps you got left. Obviously, Sullivan, tough spot right now where you got involved in that wreck early. He went for the pit road. Maybe he's saying, hopefully this thing just plays out and conserves fuel. I don't know. I don't know the exact fuel strategy right now, but right now, basically you're fighting for every tooth and nail if you're running mid-pack to get in line and just make up time right now, because the front 2 guys are 2 guys that are really good, Nova and Grease Monkey, and they're just going to run this thing out and put everyone on their strategy. So it's going to be a dogfight.
That could come down to a very good strategy. DP, you're pretty new to the ECR series. Who do you got your eye on right now as far as your camera lens, and what are you seeing right now, DP?
Well, I'm watching Grease Monkey number 19 go at it here with teaming up with the number 2 car. Who's that?
It's gonna have to be Novocaine there.
And these guys were they're teaming up very well and just taking that, making that gap bigger, just, drafting off each other, being the new driver, I'm learning a lot just watching this race. And, I can't wait till next week to get in here and battle out with you guys. So
absolutely. We can't wait to race with you as well. It's funny that you talk about the 2 truck. I was able to get a hold of Novocaine before the race, and he had some interesting words to say about his truck in his season. Let's hear him.
Well, if you notice my truck in practice, I can pretty much take it anywhere on the track that I wanted. I guarantee you, I will have a top 2 finish tonight, and if I'm behind the guy in first, I'm starting this season out with a win.
Wow. Again, LaFarve, wow. That's pretty bold.
Hey, man, I really, I think all of us really just appreciate that intensity, especially for a non-points race. That's very clearly a guy that's cutthroat. He's looking for that win. We all know Nova. He's, really dying for that win. He raced in the tail end kind of the season of the playoffs for the trucks and all the series, and just couldn't get that edge to get that win. So I know he's hungrier than ever to get that.
That edge is, you're always teeter-tottering on that edge anyway. Texas, tell us, who do you got your camera on right now, and what are you seeing?
Well, actually, South, I'm watching the same guys you're watching. I'm watching these two guys stay on each other's bumper, work together, hand in hand. Novacaine's out front. He's feeling very confident, very comfortable in this race right at this point. I do see in the distance the other trucks closing in, but it's taking a little bit of a time, pretty good while for them. I mean, they're probably a good 4 seconds back, 5 seconds back, so as long as they stay nose to tail here, I think these two guys are going to really be able to keep it out front for a pretty good while here.
Now, LaFarve, I got my camera on the 54. He's got a ton of damage on that front hood. How is that going to affect him? And he's also running by himself at Daytona. What is his mindset right now at Daytona?
Well, I tell you what, I've definitely been there when you're running alone at Daytona. It's a very lonely feeling, especially, if I don't know. I didn't get to see exactly if he got damaged from the wreck so bad to the point where he just said, screw it, I got to come in. Or if he said, you know what, I got held up enough, I'm going to try this fuel strategy and see what works. But it's a very lonely feeling. You pretty much sign the docket that this is what you're doing when you have to pit early at Daytona or Talladega. You know you're committed from the rest of the race out, and you're pretty much just riding.
Texas, why don't you take us to the field one time, Texas?
All right. What we have up front, we have in the 2 truck, we have Novocaine out front. And in the 19, we have Grease Monkey. Behind him is the 98 truck, and that is Johnny. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
The
You
98?
are correct.
Okay. Yes, and then we have Bucks right behind him in the 38 truck. The number 3 truck of Billy following behind him.
Now, did
And
you
just
say Billy?
about a half a second.
Did you say Billy?
Billy, yes.
Now,
Yes, sir. Billy.
I wasn't able to get a
10
hold of Billy.
years.
I wasn't able to get a hold of Billy before the race, but one of my comrades did get a hold of Billy. And let's just tap into Billy's mindset for this race. And let's try to adjust and see what Billy had to say for the Daytona shootout.
Hey there, 17. It's Billy Jack driving the 3 truck tonight on Marito.com. Looking to take it to the front in a hurry. Chevrolet all the way, boys. Thank you, 17.
LaFarve, he's throwing those sponsors out there real quick like. What do you think? You got to keep that sponsor up there.
I think, I got to say, I liked all the intensities. I know I talked about that of the other drivers' interviews, but I think as far as keeping the sponsors happy, Billy Jack with the win right there.
If he doesn't come in first, he came in first with keeping that sponsor happy. I guarantee you.
Oh, we have a wreck, guys. Caution, caution.
Oh, I see it. DP, take us over.
Oh, my gosh. He
We
just
got number
took
4
Evo
ran into
out.
38.
Sorry to interrupt.
I was watching. No, you're good. I was watching 54 when y'all said that, and still no caution came out though.
No caution on the racetrack, guys. There are no lights. It is green right now. There's just not very many trucks
Ooh.
competing.
Oh,
LaFarve,
It
did you
is
see
hard
the
to-
54 cut through there?
Whoa. Look at the
Ooh,
race.
Elbow into the wall.
Evo into the wall. That's so bad. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
There's
man.
so much damage to the 38, guys. There's so much
He's got a whole
damage.
bunch of damage.
Now, LaFarve,
Oh, he's
with
going
these-
straight to the pits.
with these intense wrecks,
Wow.
is cautions even on?
Cautions should be on, yeah. I sent basically Bless was the pole winner. He set up the whole race because he needed to get that number 1 slot. Caution should be on. I have noticed that within the last couple updates, it has been even harder to get the caution. Sometimes it's like your car almost needs to not only come to a complete stop, but also almost touch the wall. And man, it just doesn't seem like these guys are getting the brakes. Obviously, this isn't the super speedway race that we thought we could get, but this is a dynamic of online NASCAR racing at super speedway tracks, and it's something that these guys are going to have to adapt to. Obviously, there's some damage on most of these cars, but it's really interesting, seeing how these guys are going to have to work through this. I mean, Nova and Grease are keeping a really good strategy together. What do you guys all think that Grease's plan is right now, hanging back in second with no drafting help?
Well,
Yeah.
Grease is in the 19, right?
Yeah, he's in second with no drafting help behind Nova, though.
Yeah,
I mean, to make the pass.
He can't make the pass. It's so hard. It's so hard. He is just staying on the bumper of that 2-truck, and that 2-truck is wound up. He's pushing literally the air, the pocket in between those two vehicles is causing. That 2-truck is the one that's actually got all the air downforce on it. The truck behind him, that 19 truck, it's not got hardly any air on the nose of that truck. He can carry that truck up the hill like he just did, and then bring it right back down and behind him, and carry so much momentum. But to jump to the outside.
That was close, LaFarve. And
Yeah,
to
it
top
was.
off,
Yeah, it was.
to top off what Texas is saying, I think Grease, he sees the laps and he's just counting down the laps. He's sizing them up. Right now, he's keeping clean air on that nose when he needs to, not allowing that truck to overheat. And if Novocaine is smart, he's not gonna let. Oh, we might have some pit road strategy here. There, DP, what do you got?
Oh, I got the number 19, Grease and Novocaine coming in for their first pit stops, and let's see what they get. 1 or 2 or 4 tires. I know they're gonna get a full tank of gas.
Now, LaFarve,
What's gonna work out
these
for
two
them.
guys are going to have to be talking to each other, communicating to make sure they come out on pit road at the same time, right?
Oh yeah, communication is key, especially getting on pit road. If you're running 1-2, it's really critical that someone calls who's going low and who's going high, so that when you're coming into your braking points, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about getting loose or anything. You got plenty of room. That's really huge, and they did it to perfection right there.
Oh, watch out for the 54 there.
Ooh.
Looks like the 19 got out with about a second gap
Ahead of
with the 38.
Oh man, that's huge, guys.
That's huge.
huge.
That's
That's
the
a-
leader, guys.
That's a big gap between them two.
But something to keep in mind here, guys. Even though the 38 has damage, I'm sure he's fixed it in pit road. And now the 2 has a drafting buddy to get past that 19. Huge play here. Will the 38 help him, though? Looks like he's letting him go by to get the bottom. Nova, that is. We'll see if the 38 helps him.
The 38 is driven by Bucks. Bucks helped me for my Daytona or Talladega win, which is a super speedway. Came into play a lot, and the guy that I passed for that win with Bucks' help was Grease Monkey. I mean, it's ironic.
Yeah, it is ironic. I'll tell you what, there is I mean, you want to race with everybody, but you do have in your head when you're out there certain guys that that guy will push me when I need to, not in the middle of the corners, and kind of give me space when I need it, but follow me around. And Bucks is a great drafter. He will stick to that bumper.
LaFarve, he caught him quick. He's bumping him now.
Yeah, this is an interesting dynamic. The biggest thing to watch here, I think, is if the 2 is going to make a move fast and utilize that 38 right off the bat, or if he's just going to hang here and make Grease just worry every lap. I think he's just going to hang here because Grease is leaving the bottom door open and he ain't taking it.
I don't know, LaFarve. I would like to believe that Novocaine is more of a showman, and he wants to lead every lap possible. He's going to try to size him up with the help with Bucks and try to get around this 19. This is going to be very interesting to watch. Texas, you've raced with Novocaine a lot. How do you feel the pressure is being put on by the 19? How do you? There he goes. He's leaving it open.
Yeah, what? He keeps doing that, and Novocaine will take that pass. I promise you that. He's been behind me many a times and taking. It was right there. It was open. I can't believe he didn't take that spot. But he's definitely looking. I can assure you that.
Now,
He's looking inside now, guys.
DP, if you're the 38, who are you going to help here?
Who's the third? I'm gonna help. Probably Novocaine. Watch Novocaine, slingshot him, get behind him, and then take over that second spot. And hopefully that Kane will make a mistake. But it doesn't look like Kane makes mistakes. Novocaine makes mistakes. Just hope that he makes a mistake, and then hopefully the 19 will come and draft off to you so you can take the lead.
Now, LaFarve, if you're helping out Novocaine now, is that something you're planning on for the end of the race?
There's going to be a lot of communication, I'm sure. If we were all in that race chat, there'd be some mind games being played. I would think if I were Nova, I got to put myself in his shoes, that I'd be hanging tight and kind of waiting a little bit. But you never know. Maybe he wants, like you're saying, get out there and show it and get out there and do it. But when you kind of got a feeling, basically when you're Nova right now, you start setting up some moves. You start looking for these moves. You start dragging that quarter panel of grease. And see if where Bucks is going to go with you, where he's not, and where that big push is going to come from. Is it going to be the top, or is he going to have to do a weird maneuver to get to that bottom? I think Grease is a really good, sometimes underrated super speedway racer. He's always up at the top, and I think he knows that yellow line right now is his best friend.
Now, when you're looking at your best friends with the super speedway, when you're looking at the rearview mirror, are you looking at the front end damage of these trucks, Texas? Are you eyeballing any damage?
At that damage. You're trying to see who's got the most damage. You're definitely being aware of who can push you and help you the most, and that's who you're going to be thinking about when it comes down to the end of this thing. Who am I going to team up with? Who's going to be my partner? Who's going to be the guy that I can rely on to jump to the outside and go with me? It's going to come down to the last lap, guys. I can assure you that. I really don't feel like that the cautions are over with at this point. I feel like that there's, considerably going to be some more. These guys are really just right now at this part in the race. They're not pushing too hard, not pushing the envelope too hard. I see they're just following each other around the racetrack. I think they're trying to stretch this gap out even farther and farther. They're actually coming up on some lap vehicles at this, getting pretty close to coming up on some lap trucks here. So.
Now, it's very interesting to what you said, Texas. You talking about damage and all that. LaFarve, I would like to pick your brain about this. The 38 has a ton of damage, and I don't think he's going to be able to hang on to the 19 in the 2's draft very long. I think that they're eventually going to break away with this new pack coming up.
Well, it's really tough here, and you make a great point that with coming up on lap traffic, what's going to happen here, because as a leader, you can almost kind of somewhat use that to your advantage as far as trickery a little bit too, to kind of break up what's going on behind you. But also with this new game, once they involve damage, there is a little glitch. Sometimes when you actually do repair damage, it doesn't actually fix. As we see K. Sullivan getting right out of the way, it looks like he was going to pit road. I think we might have another round of pit stops coming up here, fellas, here in a little bit, but obviously Sullivan's a little beyond the bat. But to get back to your point, Buck's car may be fixed. It may have full fixed damage. I still think that you're never going to be a perfect vehicle again, if you know what I mean. Like, there's still going to be some issues. I think Bucks is going to be a critical piece in this.
Absolutely. Texas, if you would, take us through the field one time.
Well, out front we've got the 19 truck of Grace Monkey, and he's just staying out front, holding his own. He's keeping that truck wound up pretty good. Second place, we have the 2 truck, and that is Novocaine in the 2 truck. In third place, we have Bucks. The nose of that truck, to me, looks really, really on the right. He's got some right side damage there. And back there in third, we have, I'm thinking, It's the 98 truck of Johnny. I just think he's pretty far back. Behind him is the 4 truck of Novocaine.
Yeah, and to give credit, it is really tough for the listeners back at home to tell who is where for us, and I think even for them right now, because I think there's a plethora of lap down cars compared to not.
There
lap
is.
down
It's
cars.
so hard to really. I wish that it would tell us exactly the order they're in, and it doesn't say that up top. It's kind of hard to relay that back, and I apologize for that. But this game is not giving us that.
I'm going to run through the field real quick, guys, and I want to talk about some of the drivers real quick, if you don't mind. I got my eye on the 3 truck. He's being looks like he's being lapped by the leaders.
Oh,
a little bit of touch right there.
Contact.
And there he is.
Man.
LaFarve, he made a wedge where he can get in there. He tried to get in there as soon as he can to get into the draft. Now, looking at the 3 truck, there's a gap with the 3 and the Bucks now.
Yep. Yeah, this is going to be a really tough play. I do think Bucks is too far to catch this draft. However, Billy Jack is now, if you can see this, sniffing the leaders. He's obviously gone a lap down. That's a really tough move if you're Billy Jack, because you're trying for your life to just cling on to that top pack, not to really even get field position or be in the race, but just to have a little bit more fun and to kind of just race and not just ride around. So he made that last second cut just a little too soon, it looked like to me, and just chopped Bucks. But now, instead of Bucks, Billy Jack is now the key player for Nova. But will he help Nova? This is yet to be determined.
And does Nova want Billy's help? Now, DP, you know how it feels to race at Daytona. You know the prestige at Daytona. How awful do you feel not being in this race? How do you want to be in this race? The intensity that you're seeing right now. Tell me about the fire.
Oh, well, honestly, I wish I was in this race, but as the rookie this season coming in, I'm going to try to, get laps in on every track that we race to win a pole so I can be here next year, because sitting here watching this, I got the fire. Like, I just want to jump in my car and then start racing them right now. And so it's giving me a lot of motivation, just, learning, watching this race and learning. And we got a wall here. We can see the wall. But just to get out here and, and do my best, week in and week out, so I can be in a race like this. And, that's what I'm shooting for this season.
Absolutely. So I can show you veterans what this rookie can do. Daytona is the place to be. It's where everyone looks for racing and whatnot. Now, LaFarve, I'm looking through the field right now, and the cleanest truck that I see right now is going to be that 19 and 2. It looks like it's going to come down to these 2 guys right here. And as I say that, Nova is going out.
He's going to the outside, guys.
Oh, and Billy gets into the...
Oh, does
Billy
Jack
cuts off Sullivan? That's a huge move. Sullivan is a really big teammate of Nova, and I think that they were trying to set up something, and Billy Jack just tried to zing and zang his way into it, and it just didn't work out. Nova is now back, trying to drag that quarter panel of grease. It's crazy out here, man.
It is crazy.
They were
somehow
these
guys got this thing lined back up. This is intense racing for 4-car pack, I'll tell you what.
This is the biggest pack we've seen in a long time, too.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's cool to see the key players, too, 1 and 2. And remember, these 2 guys right now are battling off to start off the 2019 season with 30 points in the bag right there. So you got some fluff points for bad races, bad stages. You know how much this is worth, and you know how much Nova wants that win. And I know Grease, it's been a minute too for him, and I'm sure he's awfully eager. But the biggest thing is to see how these guys synchronize, see how Nova utilizes this pack, see
Oh,
if he can
oh,
drag that
Sullivan
quarter
in the
panel.
Ooh,
Oh,
Oh, in the infield. Looks like the.
like he saved it, but
oh, that's a hard hit. I'll tell you what, guys, I'm not trying to be the first to comment, but it looked like Billy Jack almost did that tail wag, and those two bumpers just hooked up perfectly and shot Sullivan into the inside wall.
now if you watch the 3 truck, he is kind of slaving back and forth. I think the 2 is now the 3 can come into play a positive way. He can also come into play a negative way. If he gets too far up there with the leaders, he could definitely poach his influence in a negative situation, just like we saw with the 54 car truck.
You bet. Yeah, I think the biggest thing that Novocaine is looking for right now, especially, you know, it's not his drafting buddy like it was Case Sullivan. Not saying he doesn't like him, but just saying he doesn't have that familiarity that you're looking for.
Absolutely.
So right now, I think what Nova is going to be doing is maybe letting off a little bit as the laps wind down. And your biggest thing right now, especially if you're noticing Grease, he's doing an excellent job of protecting the bottom. He's wiggling a little bit, but that also could be from the 2 cars just bumping, and it kind of just moves you around a little bit. It's really tough to hold that bottom yellow line as easy as it sounds. But sometimes what you can do if you're Novocaine is if you get that run off the corner, you can drag your nose just enough off that quarter panel on the right side and just get enough side draft where it'll propel you past if you have help from behind. And I think that's possibly the move we might see.
Now, Texas, is the 2 leaders even focused on the 3 truck, or are they trying to just break away and get away from the 3 truck right now?
They're definitely trying to break away from it. I think that Novocaine would definitely appreciate his help a little bit more. He's noticed that he's seen the 3 truck in his. He's actually catching him now, and he's getting in line with him. The 3 trucks actually caught this pack, which is surprising because a while ago they seemed like to me that they were pulling away a little bit more. But now that he's caught back up, I think that he's worried about the tail whip a little bit. Or the 3 truck may be swerving, and he doesn't want him to get, you know, into his rear quarter panel and turn him sideways. He would definitely hate to lose this second position at this point. So he's trying desperately to stay on the bumper of the 19 truck.
Now, racing at Daytona, it's a packed racing event, but with what we're seeing right now, with the cautions not coming out and just the intensity, and now the tail whip is coming into play. It's almost 3 wide right there. It's a different environment of racing. Would you agree, LaFarve?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I mean, when you're going into Daytona or Talladega, you're kind of thinking about entering that where your nerves are going to be just maxed out to the extreme because you're so focused the whole race when you're in a pack like that. Even if it's just a line, your nerves are going crazy because you're letting off. You're trying not to make contact. You're trying not to really, as we said, do the tail whip because you don't want to hurt the guy behind you, but you also don't want to give up too much room to the guy in front of you. It's a nonstop mental battle. What we have here is a 3-car battle, which really is a complete different animal. If you're in second, you're trying to utilize the guy behind you for just enough push past. If you're the leader, you're just trying to follow those devil yellows all the way around this track every lap.
Now, DP, we've got some guys that look like they're going on pit road. What are you seeing on pit road? Are you seeing any kind of strategy playing out here?
I see. Well, 38 looked like he was going to pit road, but it looks like he changed his mind there. But I mean, the strategy for me, being riding around like the rest of this field, besides the 3 leaders, is maybe pitting and maybe catching somebody and trying to team up to try to catch to the leaders of the field. Even though I think everybody but the top 3 are.
Oh, DP,
left.
we got some.
Hey, we got someone pitting. We got the 2 trucks pitting, guys.
Oh man, 3 stays out with the 19.
Yes. there's some strategy being played here, guys. Some strategy being played. I don't know what's going through Novakane's mind right now, but I can assure you that he's thinking about trying to get off of the back bumper of that 19 truck and maybe come out in front of him. I bet you the 19 is going to pit the next lap.
Yeah.
There
I'm
you
not
go.
sure
You
what
have
kind
it,
of in-race
LaFar.
pit reporters if we had him, what would be useful. But man, it's tough to say what you do here. Obviously, there's a lot of strategies you can do. You can do no tires, but you just can't cut off the corner as good if you do no tires. You just don't have that grip off corner exit to really, stay on that yellow line. You kind of end up drifting off a little bit with less speed. 19 car pitting, guys.
There we go. And Texas is right. He's going on pit road. Now, what is he going to take here? I mean, obviously, they're not eyeballing each other's strategy. Does he compromise his truck and possibly take no tires? I mean,
it's a tough call. I think right now, if we're in that race chatter right now that group is going through in that lobby, I think there's a lot of games being played mentally as the 38 car comes around. It looks like the 19 car took no tires, guys.
Speaking of race chatter, this race is brought to you by Race Chatter. Only LaFarve Truck Nut can bring it to you. LaFarve, take it over and take us to the field one time, LaFarve. Come on.
Well, right now we got Grease Monkey, looks like with a no tire call. I'm scrolling through here to find Nova. It looks like he is lumped back up with Billy Jack. I'm seeing this right.
No,
looks like he's
by
quite
himself.
a ways out from him.
Yeah, he's about a second away from Billy Jack, it looks like.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting, guys, because Grease has actually a guy right in front of him. They can kind of sniff some wind off of. So, yeah, I'm not sure if Nova took two or what's going on here, but it definitely looked like for how quick Grease went through, that was a no tire call.
Definitely a no tire stop there, guys.
With the
So if I
last
can
one
jump
down
in.
here, guys, this has got to be a pretty tough race. Yeah, go ahead, Pizza.
Hey, so if y'all didn't notice, like when Sullivan hit the wall, number 54, he parked his car, and I think he's done for the day. So I'd like to get with him later on and see, what was his thoughts of the race. Maybe get with him after the race and get an interview.
Yeah, see if you can get Sullivan in the booth real quick. And as you say that, we've got Billy Jack, which was behind Novocaine on pit road. There goes Novocaine's drafting partner right there. And it looks like Billy Jack only took fuel. Some kind of strategy going on here there, guys.
That was a short pit stop for sure.
Closing the end of the lap here.
And as you guys know, we've all been in these kind of scenarios. This is so brutal to be in this position where you just have no help at Daytona, especially if you're just dogfighting. It looks like we got Johnny.
Johnny is racing the leaders there, LaFarve.
Yeah, that was getting a little rough there. He's coming through some steam. I'm sure he's just looking to keep that nose clean right now.
Yeah, Johnny never wants to be in a position where he causes the race leader the race, but that was cutting it pretty close there, if you ask me.
I bet you if you're Grease, you held your breath a little bit there coming off turn 2. But right now you're in a great position. You got a little bit of help behind you. You're sniffing air in front of you from Evo. You're really in a very comfortable spot. You just need to know how many laps are left. To double check your fuel, make sure you're good on that, and without a caution, you're in a pretty good spot here. Which this race is really cool. This is based off the old 80s and kind of mid 90s Busch Clash series, which was basically all the pole winners going off in a short race for a dogfight going out for it. That race sometimes broke off into little car packs, so it's kind of cool to actually see this kind of happening when there's no points on the line as far as for regular season. Just you're continuing to build up on that, and it's just a dogfight for one bank of points. It's cool to see what these guys do, though. These are the best drivers, I think, on the video game, so
now,
cool.
Looking at Daytona right now, we're seeing a lot of stuff that we don't see right now. We're seeing a lot of non-cautions. We're seeing a lot of one-car tandems. You don't see that a lot. And we're seeing a lot of loose cars off the front stretch. just to be
Yeah.
able to drive one of these trucks is one thing, but to be able to drive these trucks with damage and no drafting help, this is something that these drivers may have not been equipped for, and may have not practiced for. I know Bless talked about his truck being set up with team help. I don't see any team help for Bless, and that's just not going to get it done. I think Grease had a very good plan. He kept it close to the chest, and being out front right now for Grease, I don't see anyone taking it from him without a caution. What do you guys think?
I think, yeah, you're 100% right. I think right now there's one happy guy riding around this that's just staring up at that left ticker, counting the laps, and then there's a bunch of other guys that are just a little bit frustrated right now. You know, you knew you had the chance. We had that wreck early, which is unfortunate, but it's 30 points on the line, guys, and you're lining up with your competitors all around you. I completely understand. What do you think, Texas?
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, he is totally out front, comfortable as he sits, right there in first. He's got a lap truck behind him, and then on back a little ways back, you've got Novocaine sitting back there in second. But we're talking about 3 or 4 seconds gap there, and he hasn't closed that gap at all. I mean, this 19 truck is really fast tonight, guys. I mean, it's a clean. He's kept the nose clean on it all night long. He's pretty much stayed out front the whole entire race, and he is looking, like you said, at that ticker, and he's watching the laps go by, and he's really looking forward to getting this Napa truck into NapaFilters.com truck into victory lane tonight.
Well, it's good that you say that, Texas. I mean, he's behind one of the ECR best, which was the 2018 champion of Cup Series, Evo. He's got no one behind him. Does he stay behind Evo, or does he break off? And as I say that right there, DP, he breaks off, DP. What do you think?
He breaks
It's
off.
almost like they're listening to you, huh?
Yeah. He got into him. He hit him.
See, that's right there.
Oh,
what
he
I'm telling
came
you,
down
fellas.
just a little too fast,
We got a slow car coming out of pit road right there as well.
Oh, we got a caution.
We got a caution?
There's a
Or is
caution.
that the end of the
DP,
race?
take
Or
us
is that
through
the
the
end of
caution,
race?
DP.
It could be the end of the race. I don't know.
I didn't even see the caution. Let's see who
I
can
don't see
see.
the caution lights
I
on.
don't
I think
think
that's the end of the race, guys.
Is that it?
So we have
We
there
are-
is no
That is-
caution.
I
Lights
think
on
that
the
is the end of the
racetrack,
race.
so that is the end of the
just-
race. I think he crossed the finish line. He cleared it, like I said, by about 4 seconds. In the 19 truck, we do have a winner, guys, from what I can tell.
Let's see if we can
Yeah,
get
heck yeah.
Grease Monkey up in the booth real quick for our winner.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I think what that was, we thought it was Evo cutting back across. I think that was the game taking back control and pushing him down.
Yeah.
So that was intense
what it
there,
was.
though. I thought, I'm
Yeah,
like,
they're
oh,
expensive.
shit.
Let's see if we can't get
Yeah.
Grease Monkey in the booth and congratulate him.
I tell you what, guys, that last pit stop was no tires, put him out front, and he just
Oh.
stretched the field. Stretched the
Yeah.
field, guys.
Yeah,
He stretched
I
the
didn't-
field. That
Anyone
pit stop,
sending
he took-
Grease
I
Monkey
think that-
invites?
Yeah.
I think Novocaine felt like he could take 2 tires and run him down, but it just wasn't going to be the case this evening.
That's definitely the end of the race.
Definitely the end.
I got him.
See if we can't get the race winner up in the booth with us real quick. Spray some champagne. Grease. Take us through your win there, buddy, and how's it feel?
It's not the greatest win how it happened, but I'll take it.
Now we're going to take this
Pretty
one
lucky, really.
one at a time. I'm going to start off. This is 17 South talking to you here. I'm sorry I got the mic all in your face. They're spraying champagne everywhere. There's confetti everywhere, you know. But Grease, it was intelligent to watch you race and drive that truck like that. And I could tell your hands were very steady and your eyes were focused. But how did it feel? I mean, we didn't see a lot of cautions in that race. Grease?
Uh, yeah, it's pretty drama free, other than the first incident. Caution didn't come out, unfortunately, for the rest of the guys, so kind of put me in the catbird seed.
Yeah, Grace, we noticed that you had on that last pit stop did you took no tires, fuel only. It was a really
Yeah,
quick
I'm
stop.
hoping to gain an advantage,
Yeah,
separate
it
myself from the second place guy.
yeah, you did a great job, great call up on the box. That was a great winning move that y'all pulled off tonight.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. Hey,
Yeah,
Grease, it's Lefave. You said
Congratulations.
you got a little lucky there. What what kind of happened around you that you felt like you kind of skated through, and it looked like you and Nova were pretty much the guys that just were able to sneak through there. What happened?
well, early on, I think Nova was leading and Sullivan was beside him, and something happened with them two. But Sullivan kind of shot up toward the wall, kind of lost speed, which forced me to dive kind of in between him and Nova, and that's kind of what started the whole melee,
Yeah.
which
Heck
just
yeah, it was
left me and Nova. So,
yeah. It was an interesting dynamic to watch you two work together to see, if a lap help was going to help Nova or how he's going to use that. But I'll put it on the Peaston to see what he's got for you.
oh yeah.
Well, Grease Monkey, this is DP. First of all, congratulations on that win. So, as a rookie, my question is like, what was your focus? Like, were you counting down laps, at the end? Were you getting a little nervous, trying not to mess up? I'm just asking for some experience.
Well, really, in that situation, you're kind of just dreading the caution coming out and screwing it all up. It's about the only thing running through your mind, and just hoping nothing happens in front of you.
Now, Grease,
Heck yeah, man.
I'm gonna ask this. I'm gonna throw it out there. Did y'all ever, any of the racers ever bring up the fact that maybe the cautions weren't on? Did anyone have that disbelief?
I believe I do remember that, but it was confirmed that it was.
Okay, well, LaFarve, that's all we wanted to hear there as far as the cautions.
Yeah.
Like you saying,
Yeah, that
LaFarve,
was only
they're harder
controversy.
to come out.
Yeah, it's a tough call, man. But, man, as an ECR Truck Series admin, that's cool to see you get that 30-point bonus there to start off the season. Can't wait to see what 2019 brings
LaFarve, you're not
for the
just an
rest of
admin.
us.
You're 51% owner of the Truck Series there, buddy. And
Yeah, heck yeah.
with that said, I would like to congratulate Mr. Grease Monkey as a 2019 Truck Series Busch Class champion. You hold that shit up high.
All right.
You are the man. It will be a
Congratulations,
year
yeah,
man.
Grease.
before anyone
Well,
can
thanks
dethrone
a lot.
that Grease Monkey.
Grease.
You are the man.
Yeah. Yeah. One year you get to
Tonight,
top
anyway,
that around.
tonight.
Cheers to
I
you,
can't,
Grease Monkey.
Great job, man. Great win.
Oh,
can't
thanks
wait to
everyone
see
again.
what next week brings, man.
DP, let's see if
Oh,
we
yeah.
can't bring anyone else into the booth real quick and get some different analogies from any kind of race perspective that we can. I would love to hear from either
Okay.
Evo or Kane or something like that.
Well, I sent Evil a request to come to the booth, and hopefully he will, accept that request. And
Let's go ahead and double up on that. Texas, if you can shoot out some. LaFarve. Let's see if we can get Johnny B in here.
Hey, Grease, what did you think that Nova, between the two of you, were you guys talking about just kind of riding it out while we're waiting for other guys coming in, or were you kind of always just knowing you had to ride that bottom and seeing what Nova was going to bring at you? Or was it kind of just, let's ride this out?
Well, I wasn't. I was just riding. I wasn't really stressing anything. The first stop, we'd done the same thing, so we kind of came out and it worked out. And
Yeah.
the next stop, he pitted without telling me, so figured he had his
Oh.
own little strategy to win. So
Now,
He
We
played
saw
his, I
that.
played mine. I kind of assumed either he mistakenly took too much fuel or maybe had a penalty. I don't really know, but
Yeah.
congratulations once
Tough
again, Grease.
business.
And with that said, bouncing off of what LaFarve said, without the cautions, did it change up how you approach the adjustments to your truck? Did you make mild adjustments, default adjustments, or just let it ride?
just drove it.
You're pretty notorious about
Like,
default. I personally, 17 South, call you the default king. You can drive a default car better than anyone I've ever seen. So once again, congratulations. We're going to take it over here to Johnny B. Johnny B, I know you didn't have the race that you wanted with the Clash. If you would just take us through what you saw during the race and how do you feel the outcome, and give a shout out to your sponsors one time.
I'd like to thank Ford. It gave me a great engine package there tonight. She was running really well. If I would have had some friends out there, I think I would have had a great truck there at the finish. But fortunately, the way the pits turned out, everybody got spread out really there. You're basically by yourself towards the end, so not many cautions. There was actually no cautions. It was caution free, which was pretty unbelievable. I had a good truck, like I said. The pits thing didn't quite turn out the way I wanted to. I ended up in fourth, but had I had a friend out there, I think I'd have finished a little bit better. Oh no, I thought it was a good race. It was fun.
Well, Johnny, I celebrate to you 10 years of ECR. You are the prez for 100% a reason.
Thank you,
LaFarve,
Yes, congratulations, 10 years.
thank you.
LaFarve, if you would take it
So
over to
I'll be with
Billy
you guys.
and question Billy for us.
Hey, Billy Jack, it's LaFave. You were in a really tough spot there. It looked like you kind of were dealing with what everyone was dealing with, just the lack of cautions and being dealt with the short end of the stick. But what was your thoughts going through your mind when you got Nova second place right in front of you and Grease leading the pack? Were you guys talking about possibly making a move, or were you just kind of hanging tight for a while?
No, I was just hanging tight. I was just trying to gain ground on Johnny, to be honest with you. I mean, I didn't want to get into the leaders and cause them a problem, so I just laid back and stayed in their draft and hoped I'd gain a little bit to get past Johnny.
Heck yeah.
But it didn't work out.
Texas,
But
wants you
had a good strong motor, and so
Yeah.
Texas
Heck
wants
yeah.
you to investigate Bless for us that just came into Victor's Circle.
Yeah. Yeah, hey, Bless. This is Texas coming to you live from Daytona. Man, what a race tonight, man. I'd like to ask you a few questions on what your game strategy was and what, I noticed that you had a great start, on the pole tonight. And then after that, let us know a little bit about what happened. We saw there was a crash there that you got involved in, and then after that, it was very hard to gain any ground back on the leaders. So what was your take on that?
Hey, it happens. It's Daytona. There's always going to be big wrecks. You just got to recover and do the best you can and get the best you can out of what you got. And third was all I could do.
Now,
I
we
wanted
noticed
to work
you
with
guys-
Evo, but it didn't work out that way.
I can hear the frustration in Bless's voice, and it appears that Bless, you had what you believe is. Would a caution have helped you out during a race at any time?
Oh, God, yeah. When they finally made that last pit and it separated the two leaders, I was gaining on both of them after that.
Is there any insight, Bless,
Yeah.
you can give the guys that did not race this Daytona race that, hey, look, you need to watch out for this, that, or the other?
Just watch out going in the turn side by side. Don't crowd the bottom car. Both of y'all can't hold your lines correctly.
That's pretty good information. Do you believe it's a little bit harder to get the cautions to come out, or?
It seemed that way tonight.
Are you?
Yeah, it certainly did.
There should have been at least two cautions in that race.
Now, LaFarve, I know you
Yeah,
didn't race the race tonight, and you were definitely up in the booth with us. LaFarve, are you anticipating this new update coming out with the game to maybe help out with the cautions, or do you want to lean on somebody that was in the race tonight?
I don't think so. I mean, I just think that whatever updates they kind of came with kind of after the actual real life season of NASCAR ended, for some reason I've just noticed a certain sensitivity that seems off with as far as what it takes to get a caution. You almost need to do a combo or a plethora of things to actually get it to happen. It's just been a weird deal, and we saw it firsthand. I mean, we had 4 or 5 cars piled up hitting the wall. I mean, and then 2 of them came to a dead stop. I don't know what else you need, but sometimes it's just you just draw the short straw, and it sucks. And it really
Yeah.
sucks to ride around Daytona with no help. I can tell you that.
Yep.
Looks like we got Evo that just came into the winner's circle with us. Now, we always notice that Daytona usually brings out the least amount of cautions for some reason or another. Evo, take us through your race and let us know how you feel, buddy. Very short answers from Evo, and you could hear the frustration in Evo's voice. Not very happy with the outcome of this race at Daytona. It is records or checkers, according to LaFarve. And LaFarve, great race. Can't wait to be a part of anything else that we got coming up in the future.
Field doesn't even finish the race.
Yeah, I agree. I concur, Doctor.
We are still recording, and this is a definite broadcast that we were going to produce. So, guys, I'm going to cut this off now. LaFarve, I would like for you to
guys,
end this video.
We'll be doing it next Thursday.
Yeah, I had a great time up in the booth with you guys. Great race, guys, at Daytona.
Thank you,
Great
Texas.
truck race.
We're going to let
We
LaFarve
wanna
kick this video
we wanna
off.
Yes, we want to. I would like.
LaFarve?
I'd like to congratulate.
LaFarve? Go ahead, LaFarve.
Oh,
Go ahead.
hey, yeah, we will be kicking this thing off here Thursday next week for the 2019 Truck Series regular season race. We got the IROC Series Monday. We got the Xfinity race Tuesday next week. It's going to be just a heck of a speed weeks here for ECR, and I can't wait to get it going.
How can we find you, LaFarve? And if we want to get
Me too,
on
I'm really looking
to, we want to get on your group, or we want to be a part of this, how do we do that, LaFarve?
Well, you want to do a simple search if you got Facebook, which I'm pretty sure everybody in the world does, unless you're in a foreign country with no Wi-Fi or internet. But you basically type in Elite Cup Racing, and you will find the homepage. And with that, if you go to the About tab, you will find a plethora of other series, including Dirt, Xfinity, Truck, IROC, schedules page, winners page, points page, penalty page. We got them all for you.
Absolutely.
Come on down.
We've also got the YouTube, and Evo is in the party now. We've also got a website through Evo. We got a Twitter account, and it's LaFarve, if you would. It's just great stuff going on over here at Elite Cup Racing. 10 years strong, motherfucking 10 years long. See ya, bitch.